Welcome everyone to Heart Snuggles. We hope you're having the best day ever. And today I brought one of my most lovely clients, coaching clients. So I'm so excited to share her with you. She is such a bright light and yeah, she's amazing. So go ahead and give yourself a little intro.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Melissa Ritter, one of Lexi's coaching clients. She's helped me so much. I'm so thankful for her.
Yay! Tell us what you do.
I bartend at a bar right next to my house, and at night it's kind of a nightclub.
Yeah, so fun. Really seems like a really lively environment where you work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we wanted to chat about relationships because it's something that we all deal with. And I think you've had a beautiful journey of where you're at now. So I think it'd be great to describe like some of your past relationship struggles and like your experiences. So will you start by telling us what your past relationship was like and how it ended?
Yeah. So my past relationship, it was almost 3 years. And at first, it was like all cupcakey stage, like super lovey. I feel like we just kind of like got into things too quickly, moved in together right away. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the love of my life. Like, I put all of me into him and just like loved him in and out and everything. And during quarantine, I would say, is when things kind of started to get a little rocky. He started to kind of like disconnect from our relationship a little bit, and I would like cling on to him more and more, and I started to become super codependent on him, and he just started to like do a little bit of some shady things, and it made me not for some reason, I never, like, strayed from the relationship. I kept pushing to be like, "Oh, like, love me more," even though, you're, like, cheating or just being, like, manipulative and lying and all these terrible, terrible things. I was still like, "No, I love you so much, like, love me," and it just progressed and it got worse and worse, and instead of, like, online cheating, it turned into physical cheating, and at this time, we had had a house together, and I just took the initiative to get up and leave because I just knew that at that point, nothing was gonna fix itself, and, I was like, "Okay, well, I need to take the step to better myself, better my life, like, get out of this because if I stay in it, nothing's gonna change." And so I left, and it was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do, one of the hardest things I went through. I feel like that's when I like first experienced like crucial depression and anxiety. I lost so much weight. I like lost myself completely. I remember when I first started talking to Lexi, I could barely talk without like bawling my eyes out. It was so hard, and I couldn't even work for a while too. Like it affected every aspect in my life, including like how I viewed myself too. And that's something that I still work on right now is like gaining my confidence back, like loving me for who I am, my body, just like my personality and everything. And that's when I met Lexi, and I'm so grateful for her because she has done some deep work with me to help me out through that entire process.
Yeah, it's been such a journey, but it's like we haven't even been together that long and we've gone through so much. And like what I love about you is you are so ready. Like you're like, I'm here for this. Like even though it's hard, I'm ready to do it. And like I'm ready to just really step into my best self. And I really commend you for that because you've been so open this whole time and you've taken the action. It's like I can sit here and hold space for you, but if you're not going to do anything, nothing happens. But you are like taking action and action and action. So it's just so beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, and like that's a lot of like I feel like no one understands that is the inner work is so hard, but it is so important. Like you have to want to do it for you. You can't like expect everyone to just to fix you. Like you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, we wish we could success. It doesn't work
Right.
like that. Yeah, and so it's interesting too. It's like realizing that and then taking that like seeing how you were trying to fix him, and it's like that does never works either. Like I've been in so many relationships where I've tried to fix them, and it's like that never works because it has to come from
Yeah.
internal.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so how I would like you to describe like how you have found yourself since leaving that relationship, because a lot has changed, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like before I was just like I turned very secluded, like I wouldn't really see my friends as much because I was so focused on like being what I thought he needed or something. And feel like since after that relationship, I have ventured out. I've done more for myself. Like I do a lot more of what I love doing. Done yoga, I take a bunch of like different classes for mental health. Um, Seeing Lexi is one of the like biggest things. Spending more time outdoors, like adventuring, meeting new people, making new friends. I feel like I've like got my bubbly self back, and that's how people always would describe me, as just like bubbly and outgoing. And in the relationship I was the complete opposite.
Yeah, that's huge. It's so interesting how I lost myself too in one of my past relationships, and it's so sad. It's like, how does this happen? You know, like how do we stray so far from ourselves? And it's so great that you can reconnect to that truth. And because yeah, your little bubbly self is so cute, so loving, and it's so important to have that. And I think it's also cool if you would describe how before you hated alone time and you were like almost afraid of it, and now you cherish it.
Yeah, before I could never be left alone. Like I was afraid of my own thoughts. I would like spiral and be so upset and just like completely in the dark. And I tried to find like a way to be with someone every second of every day just so that I didn't have to be alone because I was scared to be alone at that point. I just was in such a deep, deep, dark depression and it was awful. And now I enjoy my alone time. I can sit at home for hours by myself and read a book. And before I could not do that because my mind would be racing. And now just like I'll go on walks by myself, like take myself on dates. But just like spending time with yourself is so important because I feel like if you don't love yourself first, like you can't really give that out to others in a healthy way anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so funny too because it's like, oh no, I'm just not that kind of person. Like I'm very social, I'm very extrovert. And I'm like, it's yeah. I'm like, yes, and being able to be with yourself is so, so important. And
Mhm.
I feel like you saw the benefits right away. Like as soon as you're like, okay, I'll try it. And then you're like, wait, this is kind of nice. Like just reading my book at the pool. I remember you saying that was like one of your first things. And um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like, wait, why don't I like spending time with myself?
right.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And your anxiety has improved too. And so what have you done for that?
One huge thing that is not like, I would say, like vocally related, I guess you could say, is CBD has helped me so much. In the beginning, I don't really rely on it anymore, which is a huge step. But I mean, there's no THC in it, and you can get it pretty much anywhere. It's totally legal. It's fine. And all natural, which is amazing. That definitely helped me when I was experiencing like panic attacks and so much anxiety. That brought me down so much and helped. And ever since I started not taking that anymore, meditating and yoga have been a huge, huge help because your body stores stress in different places in your body. It literally does. So until you take care of it, it's just going to keep building up.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's so important that you mentioned that too. It's like it's okay to lean on support like the CBD when you're in the deepest of the darkest times. Like we can't just assume like come out of it, so easily. And it's good to have that support. And then now that you're like in this good headspace, you're like, okay, I don't need to be dependent on this as much anymore. Like I can use it when I just really need it or just want to super relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think another thing too is like one of your goals was to be more mindful because you were so disconnected from your body and your mind. So, what are some ways that you've incorporated more mindfulness? Obviously, the yoga and meditation.
Yeah, definitely those things for sure. I would also say exercising or just like even taking walks, like listening to a podcast or grounding has been a huge thing. Just taking a couple minutes a day to go sit outside and like barefoot, just like sit down in the grass and think. That has definitely helped me reconnect. Just being in the sunlight, like laying outside by the pool, like the sun helps so much, like it really does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so important to just connect with nature in any way you can. And sun is definitely one of my favorite things ever. It's so good. So let's talk about how dating's been for you now that you've done some of the work, and like how do you notice the red flags and what has happened since you've left this last relationship?
Oof. Yeah, dating since this last relationship, I feel like it's been difficult. I kind of started seeing someone after, and I was so scared to let my guard down that I didn't for so long. And I finally did. And when I did, I guess it was just kind of too late for them. They just decided, like that's not what I want now. And so at first it made me feel like, okay, like I just, let this person in, which is so hard for me to do. And they knew that. And then they left. And I was kind of like blaming them for a minute and, just so upset and heartbroken all over again. And I was like, wait, what am I doing? Like, I don't need no man. I don't need anyone. And I was just like, I caught myself putting my worth into someone else. Like right away, I was like, nope, like that's not what we do. Like, I just fixed this whole problem. I'm not doing that again. Um, and so you just kind of have to catch those things head on as soon as you start to feel yourself, like as soon as you let someone in, don't be like, okay, now like they have to love me. Like no, they don't.
Yeah.
That's just like I feel like that strengthens you that you can let someone in, but don't make it a end all or be all kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so important to that awareness. I think that's it. Like just being mindful enough to notice, like, okay, I notice I'm falling down the same pattern again, and I have a choice here. Like we have choices in every situation. It's like now I choose me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like important reminder. It's so good to choose yourself, and then you feel empowered, and you're like, I'm not giving my power away to this person, and dependent on them to feel this love, and dependent on them for all my needs. Like I can actually fulfill myself, and I can find someone that wants to do that next to me, like great. And until then, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm so proud of you. And I know it's never hard to like that feeling of rejection. Like, who wants to feel that? Like, fuck that. That's
Right.
the worst. I've been rejected. I've been rejected 3 times this year, and it hurts so bad. I'm like, come on. Like, why are you
Right. You're
doing
like, what's wrong with
that?
me?
Yeah.
But it's probably nothing with you. It just could also be something with themselves too. So
Yeah, that's what's important to matter. It's like it's just because they said no doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Like that's our first place we go, but it's like no, no. This is actually thank you. Like this isn't in alignment with me. Now I can bring in something that is going to be closer to alignment with me until like you just keep getting closer and closer as you say no to things that aren't serving you. It's like it brings you so much closer to the best thing for you, and it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them or that there's something wrong with you either. I think that's really important to remember that.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I love that we're both single as well. And I think that's really important to amplify because so many of us feel like we must be in a relationship. And like, also there's all this talk. Like, I remember feeling like, oh, what's wrong with you? You're not dating someone. Like, there's something wrong with that girl. And I think
Hmm.
it's good to know that it's like, no, we're actually choosing ourselves and having standards of what we want and what we want to call in. And it's a beautiful thing to be single.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like in our young ages, I think that's when we should be single. Like, we should be taking trips and meeting new people and not just like trying to settle down just yet.
Hmm. Yeah, there's so much life to be lived still. And
Yeah.
we're still exploring ourselves. And I find that people rush into relationships and then, they let their guards down and they let their true selves come out. And then they're like, wait, I don't like that version of you. Like, this isn't who I thought you were. And so It's just, I feel like if you are already really authentic and in your light, then that's great. But if not, then it's like you get into these relationships, you're like, oh wait, this isn't
Yeah.
right. And that sucks to like go through that heartbreak
Mhm.
and yeah, and like but always like we're always going to be evolving and growing, or at least you and I are, because we're doing the work and want to continue
Right.
to like be better, so we're going to continue to grow. And it's like, and if you're on this path, then it's like you have to find someone that's on that same path, because if they're just content with where they are and don't want to change anything, like that's different values and paths. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's so important to get aligned with what you guys are valuing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So good. And so do you, what are you actively dating? Like, are you searching or?
Now, after the last person I was kind of seeing, I just kind of decided, like, you know what, I'm not gonna look for anyone. I'm not gonna like try. I don't really do the whole dating app thing. I'm not into that. I honestly am just kind of content with being alone right now. And I think that is huge for me because now I'm really just like, no, like, I genuinely want to be single. Like, I don't really want to see anyone right now. And I think that it's just going to help me grow so much more and more. And when I do meet someone along the like down the road eventually, then it's going to be great.
Yes, that's so good. I think that's a huge thing to highlight as well, because we don't have to, so many of us just rush into the next relationship and are like, oh, I need to date someone, I need to date someone. And it's like, why are we rushing? Like, this is a great time to focus on you and to really focus on you, fully, and not be worried about other people. And I think that's so great. And I as well, like, I don't shame dating apps in any way. Like, I think they're so great. And so many of my friends have found their life partners on them. But for me, it just doesn't feel right. So I just like go with the flow as well. And if when I attract someone, I'll attract them. And until then, like I gotta just keep doing me. And I think that's so beautiful to be in this phase.
Yeah, the universe works in crazy ways. Like, they'll bring the right person to you,
Yeah.
when it's time.
When it's time, right? And it's like it will always happen. Like it's so easy now to think that we need the apps or we need stuff like that to, because like it's so, that's like so quick and easy, and we're so used to getting things so like that, like Amazon. Like there's so many ways that we just
Yeah.
complete so fast, but really it's like it'll always work out. Like you will always find your person. And I also believe that we have more than one soulmates, but yeah, I find that if you just keep doing you and like vibrating at your highest, most authentic self, you're gonna find your person.
Yes, I agree. You got to be happy with yourself first.
And so, what are some other practices you're doing to help you be happy with yourself?
I've done a lot of journaling actually, and I feel like that helps immensely. Just like taking like 5 or 10 minutes, like in the morning, at night, like reflecting over your day, like how you felt, what made you feel that way, just kind of digging deeper into your emotions and stuff. Um, Also, I feel like taking progress pictures for me, just like sometimes standing in the mirror naked before you get in the shower, you taught me that. And
Mhm.
just like really looking at yourself and learning to like love every part of your body. Like, everyone's body is so different. And I think that's where like, social media kind of conflicts with that because everyone's like, oh, I want to look like her or like this person. And like, that's so unrealistic. And just like taking time to love your body for what it is amazing.
Oh, yes. It's so empowering when we can do that, because so many of us women are just constantly comparing and constantly never happy. And it's like, why are we doing this? These bodies are so beautiful. And like we live in these bodies. Why aren't we nourishing
Yeah.
them? And yeah, when you can just like, it's just a lens switch too. It's not like you transformed your body, it's you transform your perception of your body. And that's really what it is, because we can shape our bodies a little bit, but really it's like that's not what matters. It matters about how you perceive it. So yay,
Yeah.
so good. And I guess the last thing is, why would you recommend people to invest in themselves?
It is so life changing. I feel like if you don't invest in yourself, then you're never truly going to be like your authentic self and like love yourself within, like inside and out. And I just think everyone needs to do some inner work, even if you think, your life is like perfect and just like rainbows and sunshine. Like, I still think everyone could 100% benefit from it. And once you do it, I'm pretty sure you'll probably be like, oh man, you were right. Like, I totally like love life like even more now.
Yeah, it's the
Hmm.
best thing you can ever invest in. Like I am
Hmm.
constantly investing in myself, and it's un never ending benefits. Like you said, like even if you think you got it figured out, like I used to think I had it figured out, and even being a coach, like I have a coach, like like it's never ending. Like we all need support no matter where you're at in your life and for different things. And there's so much to learn in this lifetime. It's like start exploring more things.
Yeah, and we only get one life, so it's like make it the best life ever.
Yes, yes, I agree. Aw, okay, well, thank you so much for coming on here today. And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me on my Instagram. It's Melissa Crescentia, Melissa Crescentia.
Perfect. She's a cutie patootie, so go give her a follow. And tell them where you work in case they're in Arizona.
Sandbar at Desert Ridge.
Perfect. Go give her some good tips.
Yes, bring on all the money.
Yes. Call that in, babe. That's I love
Hell
that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.